Good morning, my stamping friends. I am Stampin' Dee Dee, and I'm so glad to be here with you this morning. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I love what I do. I love making cards. I love finding new techniques. And today we're going to look at a new product. But first, fall is finally here. I love this weather. Now, I don't like the wind, and we had way too much wind yesterday and the day before. But I love the crisp, cool weather. So, I'm a happy camper. I love the fall colors. I love the fall smells. I love decorating for fall. So, I'm glad that we're in this time of the year. Now, on display, that's the set that we're going to be looking at. And it's a new set, so you may or may not have seen it yet. But it caught my attention because of the flexibility that this set provides. Yeah, it's just, it's very unique. So let me show you. It is actually a bookshelf, or it could be even a kitchen shelf, or it could be a drawer or a picture frame. But it has this piece in it that is the shelf itself. And then it has all of these other pieces that you can personalize and arrange on your shelf. So it's got bottles, and it even has a picture. It has books, and there are several dies that are freestanding books. It's got plants in the containers for the plants, and picture frames. It's got 2 picture frames. Well, one is a die, freestanding die, and then there's this one you could stamp. It's beautiful, and cut out. It has a cat that sits on the shelf. It has a bird cage with birds in it. It has a globe. All these things. It has little, what do they call it? Pennants. All these things that you can arrange on the shelves. Now the dies, this is the die for these books. But it has this little jar. Let me see. Let me get them out. I think that's the best way to show them to you. It has 30 dies. 30 dies. So this is that little jar that I was just referring to. This right here. It is so pretty, and it's just the die, and the lid is separate. It shows on the front, the die lid is separate. The bird cage and the outline of the bird cage. This is a scroll that can actually sit on top of the bookshelf if you want to make it a little more elegant. This is a ferny die, succulent plant that it falls over the side of the planter. This is one of the planters. Let's see, where's some of these? These are planters. They can just be freestanding, they fit right under the plant, say. There's one of the plants, and that it slips right into this die, and this die is a little bit smaller. All right. So then it has the dies for the plants. These dies are all dies for the plants, plus that ferny looking one, and that's another die. That's for the flowers. There's a stamp that just has flowers. So this is the die for the flowers. This is the die for the cat. The bird cage. This is one of the picture frames, and I'm going to show you those in just a minute. The other picture frame is right here. That's the other picture frame. So you can see there are so many dies. The pennants, the picture, more books for the shelves. So much is here. So let me show you a couple of samples that I did. And then I'm going to show you how to use some of these pieces. So this is the first one that I did. I was just playing around with it. I wasn't sure how to put it all together, but, you know, I looked, of course, at Stampin' Up's 2 samples. So the cat, I did actually with the cat stamp and the outline, the stripes on the cat. You can do it with just the outline of the cat. This is one of the plants. This is the plant, and I just put it in one of those little dies. I used my earth tone metallics for this one. I left, when you cut this out, and I'll show you in a minute, when you cut it out, it cuts out all of the openings. So you have all these extra pieces. Yeah, I kept some of them because they're great. I'm trying to pick it up. They're great to use for some of the little cutouts. But you can see these are some of the pieces that come out. So what I did, and I followed the example on the website, is I left 2 of them in as doors. And I used my earth tone bronze metallic, and the die for those, that's this one right here, and it cuts out your handles. Then I stamped my birds. There's a bird stamp right here. I stamped my birds. I die cut the outline, which was this right here. I die cut the outline of the bird cage. I stamped my birds on the outline, and then I die cut this part of the bird cage. Let's see. This one's right there. This part of the bird cage, then I cut that out in the earth tone bronze metallics. So I did 3 things: the handles, this little pot right here, and the bird cage in the metallic for this one. Then I just I did do the two different frames, and it's hard to find something small enough to fit in those 2 frames. But I had some, what are those, little brass butterfly gems that are retired now, but I still had a bunch. So I put that in one of them. And on this one, I just stamped the birds, and I fussy cut one of the birds. And I put it in that one. And then the jars and some of the books, some more of the books. This was some of the freestanding dies. These dies right here that are books. And so I cut one set of those out. So this was one of the cards that one of the card fronts that I made. Then I decided to do one with a little bit different color. So I did this one. I used the Secret Sea for the bookshelf. Again, I left 2 of them in and positioned them a little bit differently than I did this one. So my jars, I did an arrangement of jars. On the books, I die cut 2 sets and in different colors and cut them apart. And that's how I got the variety of colors with that. This is that jar. I love that jar. Isn't that cute? Then one of the plants, and on this I used the gold foil. So I did the gold foil for my handles. I wanted to use more gold on this one. So my picture frames I did in the gold, that one jar, and then the stand for my globe I did in the gold. So I just found one of my pattern papers that had little bitty images, and I used that in this one. And then the Storybook Friends had an image small enough that I could cut it out and use in that frame. And I didn't put anything in that frame. This is the frame that came out when I die cut this image. You get the whole thing again. And then the books down here. So, yeah, that's, I didn't spend much time going back through some of my sets, or some of my designer series papers, but I'm sure I have some other papers that have tiny little images that I can use. All right, so let's look at how to do some of these, because I don't want you to be intimidated by this at all. It is a really cool set. I'm trying to figure out how to keep these in. All right, first of all, I decided instead of solid cardstock that I wanted to give this designer series paper, a wood grain designer series paper, a try. So I'm going to use my bookshelf die, and I'm going to cut it like this, and I'm going to take it over to my die cut machine for this one. And we're just going to cut our, I need to get it straight. I want my wood to be going up and down straight. Okay. Put it through, and you have to really work, because it's got lots of cutting to do. All right, I'll bring this over here and show you how each little piece, see, it cuts each little piece. So you have all those pieces that you can use to either to make doors or to cut out some of the images. I'm going to get this out. I think I can. Yeah. There. So once I get a finger under it, and there we go. All right, now this is not going to be as sturdy as, no, I had them this way. There we go. This is not going to be as sturdy as the cardstock. So I went ahead and cut my card base, and I'm going to back it with a piece of Very Vanilla. Now, we're not going to make the whole card here. That would take forever. But I thought we would fill in, I would show you how to use some of the dies that might be a little bit more intimidating. And this, I wasn't sure when I first started this that I could even use a mat. Come on. Don't go down. I did not get you centered. All right, let's try this again. It just leaves the tiniest little frame. There we go. And then this is going to go right on it. Now, if we wanted to use this one, yeah, I think we still could so let me run this through, and I can run this through the mini. cut this down. That way I'm right here with you. I'll run this through the mini here. Get it taped down. All right. I can move these over and move this in just a little so you can see it. Put it right there. Oh, what did I do? I tell you what, you guys need to holler at me when I do it wrong. So that's my mistake for this time, for this video. I'm allowed one every video, and that was it. I didn't turn my die over, so now I've got a nice image on there, which I really didn't want, but that's okay. Let's try that one again, shall we? All right, this time we got to cut. Oh my. All right, poke this out. See how it fits on our. Isn't that pretty? It's so detailed. It's got the scrolls here and up here. Yeah. And they're even cut out, and I'm not sure why. Maybe to put over the top. I don't know. So we're exploring this together. Now let me put this die back here. Bring this back here. Now these will be, we can either put these at the top. I put them on these. I put them at the bottom as little feet. But let's do it different this time. Let's put them at the top and cover them up. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down. And get my silicone mat. We're going to be doing a lot of gluing. I'm just going to go around the edge and then a couple of key points. You know, some of these places like that that will help hold it. I think that's good. Okay. Now we're going to put those at the top. We want to leave plenty of room at the top since we used a mat. Like I said, I haven't done the mat before. All right, we got that down. And now we're going to put this on. Okay. We just want to cover up. You don't want them showing above. That's why I hadn't done this way, but it works. It works. There we go. All right, now we have our bookshelf formed. So if you want to leave a door in, where's my, here we are. These are your pieces that were cut out. I think I want to leave this one open this time. And yeah, when you turn it the other way, your bigger pieces are at the top, and I like that. Yeah, I like it better to have those at the top, but we're good. So I might leave a door here, maybe a little, I don't know, my handle is too big for that. And this is where I don't have good fingernails. My fingernails don't grow, unfortunately. But I could make that middle one a door. And I think I'll do that. And that leaves space for the others. So I'm going to go ahead and glue it down because I know I want it to be my door. And if you wanted to put another door down here, you could do that. You could put as many doors as you want. All right, we'll put our handles on in a minute. So one of the things I wanted to show you how to do, just to make it easier, is your cat. And I'm going to do the cat in Very Vanilla. Let me get out my Very Vanilla. And what's nice is you can use the scraps for all of this. All right. So that one's big enough for the cat. I'm going to move this back over here because we don't need it. So what I found with the cat, let me get the stamps. The stamps are right here. As you know, Stampin' Up! Has moved to all photopolymer, and this is the packaging now. I'm not crazy about it. I haven't figured out how to store it so it's easy to find. You know, on my others, the spine showed, so I could tell on my shelf what I was looking for. This one, I just haven't figured out how to do it yet. But the sentiments on here, just for you, you're the best. Treat yourself. Treat yourself. You deserve all the good stuff. You've been on my mind. Hello. And a birthday for the books. So you could really fill the bookshelf up with books for that one. Isn't that cute? Yeah, I really like those. So we're going to use the cat. And I'm going to use the solid cat and the stripes. So we've got the stripes. I don't know how to make these visible. The stripes and the solid. And let me grab a couple of blocks. Because what you want to do first is you want to do your stripes first. So let's see. This could be, what, a yellow cat with brown stripes. I don't know much about cats. I did this one this way because our grandkids have a cat that they call him Ash, and he's gray with some dark gray highlights. So that's why I did that. But let's do a yellow with brown. You could customize it to whatever you wanted it to be. So we want to do the stripes first. Trust me, that is so much easier. All right, here we go. with the stripes, and you want to leave plenty of room. I think there's plenty of room there. Do the stripes first. Let me get my cleaning chamois out. And then we're going to do the cat. And I think we'll stamp off so it's not a bright yellow. I don't know. I think we'll stamp off once. Let's see what it looks like. This is so saffron. No, this is crushed curry. Stamp off. Stamp off. And it's still kind of... All right, let's try it again. Stamp off, and then... Whew, that's going to be pretty light. We'll just go with the darker. I don't know. Are tabby cats that color? I just want to make sure I'm getting... And maybe the stamp is designed that way, or maybe my stamp pad is old. I think that's a possibility. All right, here we go. So we're going to position this. You can position the tail. And then you can see where the rest of it goes. Sorry, I had to get over it a little bit. There we go. So that's our cat. That early espresso is dark, isn't it? Let's try it again and stamp off the early espresso. Not that I know what the cat is supposed to look like, but I know we can make this lighter by stamping off. All right, let's try this one again. Yeah, that's better. Isn't it? For a cat? Isn't that better? I don't know. All right. I just want to make sure I'm getting good coverage. All right, here we go. Get the tail. I'm going to get the tail first, then the back and the paws. There we go. Yeah, and see, you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the eyes and the nose, the paws here. Yeah, that looks good. That one's too dark. So, let me close up my inks. But just remember to stamp the stripes first. If you're going to do that, it's much easier to line up the paws, the back of it over the stripes than it is to line the stripes up over. I don't know why, but it is. All right. So we've got that one. I don't want to get these too out of pocket, so I'm putting them back. Just a minute. I've always enjoyed sets where you build the scene. I like that. So this one was right up my alley. All right, we're going to do this. We're going to cut out our kitty cat. Bring him back over here. Get him off the... Okay, and there. Here's our... Now, I'm going to position him because I want him to cut out well. And then I'll put a piece of tape over him. Okay, got our kitty cat cut out. There he is. And he's going to have to sit. Well, he can sit on one of these shelves. He can. Or you can put him on a lower shelf and put some pots around him, like I did on this one. So, it's totally up to you. You can't do the narrow ones, but he can sit on this one. It just leaves a lot of empty space if you don't put him on a shelf where you've also got some books or something. All right, let me get this put back. Throw that away. So that's the cat, and I'm sure we have some cat people watching. So here you go. Let me look and see. So if you are watching this live, would you say hi? Let me know that you're watching. And if you're watching the replay, I really appreciate those people that comment and say, watching the replay. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. We need something to go here with him. Let's do some books. We can either do books that stand up right there, or we could even cut one off if we needed to. Let's do that. And I would, at this point, begin to decide what color scheme I'm going to kind of focus on. So, maybe I tend to migrate to the blues. Maybe Lost Lagoon. And so I can go in here and look for scraps for my books. All right, we're going to cut these books out. Okay, put this in. I'll move my card over, and I'll move this. There we go. All right, we'll put our paper in our books. And you know, while I'm cutting, I may put I'm just looking to see if there's another standalone. I guess this jar we could do as a standalone. Might as well while we're cutting. All right. I'll run these through. Hi, Kay. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. So have you seen this set? All right, here is our jar. Isn't that pretty? I love that jar. And I love the books. I love all of it. I'm a fan. Even though, I mean, you know, it's a lot of work. It is, but I'm okay with that. I come in here to play, and yeah. All right. So if we want the books on the shelf with our cat, then we would put them right there. And I think it's just fine. He gets in there and snuggles up against those books. He loves that. I know cat, I don't have a cat, but I see a lot of crafters, a lot of card makers whose cat is sitting right there watching them, you know, or up on a shelf behind them. So, you know, I'm going to take the glue off of the tail because I'm probably gonna stick something up under his tail. So I'm gonna get my embossing buddy and take the sticky off his tail. All right. There he is, sitting right there. And then the jar we can put on a different shelf somewhere. We can put it right there. Or over here. Maybe with another jar. Oops. Okay, I haven't glued that down because I don't know for sure what I want to do. But if I decided to use another, maybe one of the bottles. This is a tall, skinny bottle. Maybe I'll do that and stamp it. And maybe, let's see, maybe another brown, like the, maybe basic beige. Let's see what basic beige does. I don't know how it's going to look. And get another scrap of Very Vanilla. Basic beige is almost that greenish. It's got a greenish look. But I'm okay with that. I'm going to go ahead and stamp a couple of them, just in case I want another one. And I'm going to grab another stamp. Maybe one of the plants would look good with the basic beige too. But the plant's going to need a tall shelf. Maybe that one. Yeah, I haven't done that one yet. So let's do that one. Go ahead and stamp that in basic beige in case I decide to use that. Let me make sure I've got plenty on there. Yeah. All right. So let's cut these out. It's the taller jar. There's the shorter one, I think. Where's the taller one? Here. Oh, and the plant. It's a funny looking one, I know. Okay. All right, let me put these on the cutting machine, on the cut and emboss. Yeah, I hadn't either, and I was looking to add something to my order, and I saw it, and I thought, you know, I would have fun playing with that. So I ordered it, and I have had so much fun playing with it. And I thought, well, why not just show it so it's not so intimidating to someone who sees all of that and goes, oh, I'd never figure all that out. All right, we're going to cut these out. Oh, there's my jar. That's why. When you're working in a small space, it's hard not to mess up something. Okay. Well, we have to figure out what kind of a pot we're going to put our plant in. And should I use metallic or some gold or something? Or should I go with, you know, a darker, I don't know, something. I do want to cut that one out eventually. But what was I going to do? Put a jar next to this? I don't know. Put my sticky tape. I'm not crazy about that. So what I might want to do is do some books. I'm going to put the jar back up there for right now and put this one aside for now. Yeah, I really don't want this one up there by itself, but I could stamp some books and just cut the two out. Mate, let's try that. You know, we're just trying to figure it out. And I could do those. What should I do them in? Maybe the basic beige. Let's see what it does. So now I need some more Very Vanilla scraps, which I've just got all kinds of scraps here. All right, let's try the basic beige again. Right here. Put my stamp back. And get the die that cuts those right here. Ooh, almost got it too close to the edge. But I didn't. But I almost did. All right. Move this around. Put this down. Put this right there. We're going to do this one, and then I'm just going to show you a couple more of the trickier pieces, and we're going to call it a day. Because I knew this would be longer, but I wanted to show you some options for arranging things. All right. We got this one. And to make it fit up here, we're going to trim it down to that right there. And that is going to make this fit right there. A couple of books right there with our jar. And this jar could actually go down here. Well, you know, you could put it wherever you want it. We've got more books because we've got the ones that are left over from that. So they can go in there. There's just so much that you can do. But let's do the bird cage. Now, there's lots of different ways that you can do that. You could just cut the bird cage. And if we do a bird cage, that's where you need to plan it out, because you're going to need to put it in a taller one. So let's just do the bird cage. Now, I showed you before that you could cut this out, stamp your birds on it, and then do the bird cage and put it over it. But I think what we're going to do is stamp the birds right on here and just do this part of the bird cage. And we'll see how that looks. And we're going to do it in gold. Gold or bronze? Or gold or the earth toned? Oh, I think we need to do the earth toned. All right. So we're going to cut this out. Put this on there. Put our metallic on there and the top. I use my metallic sparingly. I keep all the little pieces. All right, so when this cuts, we're going to have all the little inside pieces to deal with. And so what I do is I take the bird cage off. I want my little pieces to fall out on this so that I can throw them all away. Otherwise, you're going to be picking pieces up. Okay, got all the pieces off. Because the static electricity also. And I'm going to brush them off into my trash. And we have our bird cage. And it will come out like so. There it is, a bird cage. Isn't that pretty? It's a pretty bird cage. And our birds can be, what color? What color should our birds be? They're probably going to be canaries, right? Maybe orange. Maybe orange. And we've got an orange tabby, so let's use Timid Tiger. Let's get the birds, the stamps. Where are the birds? Right there. And we're going to stamp them right there. Right in the center, up a little bit. All right, here we go. Right about there. Those are pretty. Those are pretty birds. All right. And then we're going to glue this down over them. Oops. One of them was almost out of the top. I almost did it too high, but you know what? We're good. Let me put just some dots of glue on the main frame. Around the top a little bit. And we're good to go. There we are. I could have moved my birds down a little bit. But you know what? It is all right. I could also cut me a little base to set them on. So I wanted to do that. All right, so that's the birds. This one right here, I haven't figured out how I'm going to use it yet, but I did cut, and this is what it looks like. Isn't that pretty? So it's just an overhanging, but you can't hang it over the door. It just overhangs. And if you put a little pot there, it would overhang. All right, I think the rest is just a matter of deciding what you want, and whether you want leaves or flowers, or just deciding what you want. Well, I hope that I have encouraged you to give this set a try. I love it. I just think it's so much fun. And building my seams. So here's that one. And here's this one. And the one that we're in the process of making. We also said we were going to maybe put this in here somewhere. We could put a bronze vase. Let me get a vase. Is that one too big? That one's too big. I'll get one of the vases. How about this one? Is this one too small? No. And I'm going to use the bronze. Run this through real quick. Put it down here, so I better run it through this way. You know how finicky your mini cut and emboss can be if you try to run cardstock through first. It doesn't want to cut. All right. So we'll get our little bronze vase here. Put my die back so I don't lose it. You have to be careful with these little dies. You don't want to lose them. So it kind of covers up the cat's kind of right behind the leaves, but that's all right. Put a little bit of glue there. Put this right there. Put our little vase on. It doesn't take much glue. There we go. Now we have our pot. We need our handles for that. So, yeah, we're building it. It's coming along. All right. This took more time than I anticipated, but I hope you're a little more familiar with this set. I hope you'll give it a try. And, yeah, let me know. Let me know how it works for you. Oh, there's one of my dies. I sure don't want to lose my dies. Let me put it back over here where it belongs. Oh, I was going to show you the picture frame. Well, the picture frame cuts the frame and the inside. So do the picture frame, whatever you want it out of, and then cut it again, positioning it over whatever image you want. Cut it again. It'll cut another frame, but you want the inside. Just poke it out and put it in your frame. It works perfect. Works perfect. All right. Well, that is the on display set. The on display set, and with its 30 dies and its 26 stamps. So I hope you'll give it a try. and let me know how it works for you. Thank you for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, let me know. Thank you so much. Be sure and subscribe and give me a thumbs up. All of those things really help our YouTube's videos to be viewed more. And that's why we do them, is so people can see them and enjoy what we're doing. All right. Well, go enjoy this nice, cool, crisp weather. Kay, thanks for watching. And for anyone who's watching the replay and the YouTube, thank you so much. God bless. Take care.